In the Builders category for this year's Hall of Fame, Field Hockey Canada honors a proven leader who's excelled in all aspects of the game.
It has been a journey, but I must say it's a journey that if you'd asked me 30 years ago, I would have said, you guys are all nuts. What's that all about?
Cicinelli grew up in Toronto and was introduced to field hockey at Emory Collegiate High School, but took the game much more seriously when she began attending York University in 1979.
And I went out for the field hockey team, not knowing anything about it. We played in high school. And then I realized that the coach of the team was the national coach, Marina van der Merwe. But it was too late to back out because there wasn't enough players. So Marina always referred to us as the kids she picked up off the street because there was about 7 or 8 of us.
She played until 1983, but always knew where her strengths lie.
I'll be honest, I always thought I want to go to the Olympic Games, but I was never good enough as an athlete. But I was very good administratively, very good organizationally.
As a player, she'd assist the national team coaching staff. She says seeing how hard they worked helped carve her work ethic at a young age.
For them to give you that dedication, you had no option but to give it back. And if it wasn't something you wanted to do, then you shouldn't have been there.
Following the 1984 Olympics, Cicinelli was then brought onto the national team as an on-site manager, making her one of the youngest managers at the time.
I was a young 20-year-old managing the national team. I had players that were older than me, and I was their manager. I went to my first meeting of the managers, national team managers, at our technical meeting, and they all looked at me to think, what is this young woman doing here? I went, and they even asked Marina, are you sure you've got somebody who knows what they're doing? And I remember I went through the whole event. We were in the States. And at the end of the tournament, one of them went to Marina and said, she might be young, but she's very efficient.
Despite her young age, Mary excelled as she helped take the team to a bronze medal finish at the 1986 World Cup and qualify for the 1988 Summer Olympics. However, that didn't come without its sacrifices, even if it meant quitting her full-time job.
I was working full-time, and I went to my boss. And I said to him, listen, I have this opportunity to manage this Olympic team, but I need to take time off because I knew I needed to. And he said to me, I still remember this, he said, Mary, I can't set that precedent for you because we've never allowed that to happen. And I said, okay, well then my decision is I've just given you my 2 weeks notice. And he was shocked. I don't take this opportunity now, it's never going to be an opportunity I'm going to get again. And I quit. For 18 months before the Olympic Games in '88, I became dedicated to the national program.
After the Olympics, Mary's role transitioned to onshore manager. In the meantime, she became the first president of Field Hockey Ontario after the men's and women's associations merged.
Well, I think what happened was because of that and because of my hard work as a manager, people started trusting me with different levels of different authority levels, and I don't have a problem making a decision.
That trust then snowballed onto the national level, where she went from a provincial representative on the Field Hockey Canada board to becoming Field Hockey Canada president. One of her proudest accomplishments in that role was helping organize the 2015 Pan American Games in Toronto because of what it would mean for the sport.
All we were excited about was, oh, thank God we're getting some facilities. Literally, that's what our excitement was. Yes, thank God the Pan Am Games are in Toronto in Canada, but for us, it meant facilities, it meant grassroots development, it meant finally being allowed or being able to host international tournaments because we had a water-based turf.
Cicinelli stepped away from that role in 2012, but remains involved in sports as the Pan American Games treasurer. She credits the good people she's worked with in the sport for why she continues to contribute until today.
Like, the people have been fantastic. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've stayed as long as I have. And I just like doing it. I love the sport. I love watching the 5-year-old pick up a stick. I love watching the Olympians. Whatever grassroots it is.
When looking back, Cicinelli says she'd like to be remembered for her integrity.
I think I'd like to be remembered as someone who was always fair to whatever the situation was, who always tried to see the sense of humor in it some days, but someone that if you asked me to do something, I did it. And I did it with the integrity for what was best for the situation that was presented at me at the time.